Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Things get a little crazy out here in the traffic at times. I'm leaving Mandaue City in Cebu. This is J Center Mall, where immigration is. I was going to take a taxi. The line for taxis was quite long and the taxis were very sparse. So I went around the back of the mall, and back there's a PUV terminal where the jeepneys hang out, and also an area where the Habal drivers, the motorbike taxis, hang out. And negotiated price for 70 pesos to take me from there to Sarosa Hotel, where I was going to meet a friend. And yes, we share the road here. You would create a major confrontation in the US and many cities if you drove like this, obviously. And also find yourself with a number of citations if they ever caught up with you. A little bit of risk involved, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It is what it is, as I sometimes say. This guy was a little more aggressive than most drivers I take, but we did arrive safely. No skin knees. We used the center line just like they do in California out on the freeway, but we're going much slower than they travel on the California freeway, where they are allowed to use the space in between two lanes. And we do use oncoming traffic lanes regularly. And most people give way. They will make 3 lanes where there are 2, or 5 lanes, 6 lanes where there are 4. And this is a little shortcut here. If we went up to the light up there further, this is Fortuna Avenue that we were on. If we went up to the light, there's no left-hand turn, so you have to go past the light, find a place to do a U-turn, and more and more places, a lot of people go past those no left-turn places. They make U-turns, so I'm starting to see more and more yellow-painted metal barriers going on down the middle of the road so that people cannot make that U-turn. Different places. And this is a shortcut. It was under construction, I think, for about 3 months or so, and that did mess up the traffic because a certain percentage of the traffic takes this road and they don't have to go up to that light. Big industrial area down here. Some days they're lined up with trucks waiting to get in, unload, and load their items in the warehouses, primarily on the left here, but there are a few on the right as well. They did a good job of repairing this road. It was a mess. Potholes, and even though it was shorter, you had to go very slow over and around the potholes, whether you were in a car or on a motorbike. And here again is a case where there are almost no stoplights, very few signals in town. You see very few of them in the Cebu City area, many cities. This is Hernan Cortez Street. Very street again, and a very busy street. And unfortunately, when they did a little work on this road as well, unfortunately there's no room to widen them out. They just repaved sections of it, laid some new drainage pipe down in certain areas, and I don't know what they're going to do because traffic continues to get you at more and more cars. So it becomes a question. They're talking about buses, they're talking about light rail, but all that stuff is years away. They do have a few more buses on the roads, and they primarily go between the various malls and the airport, a few other stops, hospitals for instance, and they're starting to expand where they stop. But a bus on a road like this isn't going to speed anything up at all, so they're limited on the routes that they can take. They have blue buses that charge 8 pesos, about the same as jeepneys. Small air-conditioned buses. I think they have maybe a little bit over 30 seats, but I've seen them get as many as about 50 people in there or so. Standing room only, and they've become quite popular, but there aren't enough on enough of the routes yet, so it's going to take a while. I also called Grab to see if I could get a Grab car out of there, and they wanted to charge me $159, a little over $3, but they weren't available, and I tried it twice, and they didn't have any cars in the area, and that can often happen when you during rush hour traffic, and it gets a little tight through here. And sometimes I walk this road, so I'm coming the opposite direction, so I am challenging the motorbikes, and most of them are pretty good. They see you coming, they'll stop and wait till you pass walking. But sometimes they get a little aggressive. Sometimes I get a little aggressive. Try to let them know that I'm coming through. One thing I wanted to mention, headlights. So, you know, in the U.S., some people know about this, some people don't. The truckers do it a lot, and sometimes you see cars doing it too, is flashing your headlights. And if you flash your headlights, that generally means you passed me, or it's okay, you could go ahead and turn in front of me. It's kind of giving the other person, telling them it's okay, go ahead and turn, I will stop allow you to pass. A lot of people, taxis in particular, flash their headlights here also. And my observation is that 80% of the time it means, look out, I'm coming through, I'm not going to stop. Sometimes it does mean I'm going to stop, but it only means that if you've stopped and you flash your lights, I think. You'll also see other private cars doing the same thing, flashing lights, and motorbikes sometimes. So you're in a different culture, different customs. The same thing, flashing lights, means different things in different places. There were rumors, I think there were rumors in the U.S. that flashing lights had something to do with gang signs or something too. I heard that a long time ago. Don't think that was ever true. Most of these motorbikes out here are about 125cc engines. You get some 100, some 150. On a rare occasion you'll see a Harley or a bigger bike. It's amazing how these guys on these bikes weave in and out of the lanes of traffic. With these smaller bikes you can do that. Larger bike would be pretty difficult to do. That could be a good thing. You wouldn't be tempted to try it. A lot of places, especially at night, you have to be careful because you have a pretty deep gutter on the right. Can be quite deep and wide. Incidentally, right on the right here, there's a new steakhouse. They get quite a crowd, mostly Filipinos, but it is called Fat Gems, and they had a pretty good, I think I had a tenderloin in there for 550 pesos. Very tender, very good, USDA. They have this whole little strip mall just to my right, you can't see it now. They've got a new resto bar in there. They've got Chinese restaurant, I think, serves fresh fish. And we're turning onto Cabahog Street. The white building, tall white building just to the right, that is Cityscape Condominium. Here again, you have jeepneys parked in the lane. You have food vendors have their carts out in the lane. And everyone just makes do. This is a big jeepney stopping place right here. And I don't think we're going to see them today, but usually there's a lot of the little blue buses, air-conditioned buses, stop right along here. Take people over towards Ayala, up to IT Park, up to Banawa, or Banilid, I think. And you've got just to the left, you've got the Sykes building. I think that's the Sykes building. You've got, which has call centers in it all around here, so pretty much 24 hours people are coming and going. Burger King, Jollibee, a couple pizza places. Shakey's up here that I eat regularly, but the pizza's good in my opinion. Service is always bad for some reason. So I just walk up. If I need something, I walk up and get what I need. And that building up center, taller one, that is Soros Hotel. That's where I'm headed. Meet a friend. And anyway, thank you for coming along for this ride. Please like the video, share the video, please subscribe. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at. And we'll see you next time.